In downtown Oshkosh, across from the Y, stands a building over 90 years old. But within the walls of this former Eagles Club, there's an incredible rebirth taking place. In part, looking to the future, but with serious respect for its past.
Absolutely. So the whole facility is about 33,000 square foot, broken up into a bunch of different areas. What we'd found was the structure itself was sound, but those areas that had a lot of foot traffic for 90 years, they were just beat up and hadn't been paid much attention to. So the floor in the grand ballroom, it completely needed to be replaced, and that's what you see now. It's brand new. But in other areas, we found some real gems where you'd uncover the windows in the front of the building, and they still had the plate glass in there, and that hadn't been revealed in a generation here in Oshkosh, and to discover things like that, it was just truly remarkable.
Jeff, here's a question for you. With these sconces on the wall, what looked like they've been etched in the wall, how tough was that to get them to where they are today?
Sure. So now the guys that had to do the plasterwork and the painting will probably say it was a lot more difficult than I'll say it was. But what I'm told is the majority of the plaster in here was in pristine condition. It really just needed a good cleaning and a coat of white paint. But we were astounded by how good a shape this building really was. It just needed some love.
And now we're in the ballroom of the Howard. And Jeff, could you give me a little backstory of back in the heyday?
Our particular venue hosted Johnny Cash on October 31st, so Halloween night 1956. This room also welcomed in the Glenn Miller Orchestra and some other really big names of their time. We're going to do some nostalgia stuff. We have the Glenn Miller Orchestra coming later in early 2019. And then we also want to do a lot of dinner theaters. As I mentioned, we have a whole culinary division here with two very talented chefs. And so we had Kyle Cherrick, the Wisconsin foodie, here last week doing a Johnny Cash themed dinner where they literally did recipes from the Carter Cash family cookbook. In just a couple of weeks on November 14th, we'll have a Prince themed dinner. And then in the spring, we're going to do one on David Bowie and one on the Beatles. So anytime we can, again, get people in this big room for some entertainment and to share some food and memories, it's a great space to do it. And that's what we're hoping to achieve.
Below the ballroom? Well, let's let Jason and Jeff talk about that spot.
You got to tell us about these the bowling pin things here and how they work, and just they're so cool.
So our lanes date back to the 1920s when the building was created, and one of the things that they really wanted to focus in on when we relaunched the bowling alley was an authentic feel. And so we worked with the teams at Brunswick to utilize all the old machinery behind the pins and the pin setters. The ball returns themselves were custom crafted by Brunswick, so they're the old school where you can see the ball coming and at the end it flips up. Just really neat little touches that they focused in on to turn this into a place for nostalgia, but really a great high-end kind of feel as well.
Now, despite the incredible design, you do still need minimal athletic skills for it to function.
Once we open up, we'll have 10 fully functioning lanes. Folks will reserve them by 90-minute blocks, so you can bowl as much or as little as you like during the course of that 90 minutes. And the idea really is a higher-end boutique bowling alley where folks can come, have a little bit of fun, have a really nice craft cocktail, glass of wine or a bourbon, and just enjoy a unique space in downtown Oshkosh.
So Jeff, we're in the cafe now. Talk to me about some of the things you have going on here and some of the things that you feature here.
Absolutely. So the cafe was the first part of our business to get off the ground, and part of the reason was we were directly across the street from the YMCA, and we wanted to provide healthy options for people to come in. So we're a traditional coffee shop. We do Ruby Roaster coffee beans, which are roasted right here in the great state of Wisconsin. We also do cold pressed juices, and then healthy food options. So we have what we call a grab and go grocery. Things like beautiful salads and chicken wraps and salmon wraps and fresh juice, all sorts of healthy options that otherwise you can't find here in downtown Oshkosh.